Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to another live episode of UFit times Eat Love Nutrition Chats. I'm just going to make up that name for today, but welcome to our talk today. It's all things staying on track with your goals during the summer. And there's a couple of different underlying themes I want to get into with this talk today, but first and foremost, where are you tuning in from? I want to get to know you guys a little bit better. My talented colleague, Kayla, also a registered dietitian, will be manning our question chat feature question box today. We have a Texas. Kayla and I are both in Texas right now. I'm out of Austin and Kayla is in Houston. Fabulous. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ale Zozos. I'm a registered dietitian. I do these webinars mostly every 2 weeks, and then also the live Q&As with our Facebook group. So if you are not already a member of the Facebook group, I have a special slide for all of you today just to scan the QR code and get that request in so we can keep building that community over there and basically continuing the conversation for when we don't have these webinars, which, like I said, are pretty much every other week. We got more Texas, Florida. Fabulous. So before we get started, I have a couple of polls that I want to get a better sense as to you right now. So do you all know that UFit has an in-house nutrition program with EatLove? So if you're not familiar with EatLove or what we do or who we are, you absolutely will be by the end of today. If you stick around through our full 30 minutes, I do reserve about 5 to 8 minutes to do a quick demo and highlight some of our topics and chats a little bit more. So if we're doing like a macro-based talk, I'll show you, macros in that. But basically, getting a personalized nutrition program and being able to give you what we call Spotify playlist of meals. But more on that later. You guys can also check out the replay too if you do have to jump off early. But let's go ahead and talk about today our summer goals. So staying on track with your goals all summer long. We did some intros. We'll do our nutrition webinar. We'll all join the Facebook group, and then we'll do an Eat Love demo and reserve the rest of the time that we have today for questions. So when we are looking at summer goals and just our goals in general and why we're not able to stick to something all 12 months out of the year, it's a good time to revisit your why and what I like to call the big picture. Big picture and why are kind of interchangeable. So visualize the reasons why you started. Are you falling into any of the following traps here? So since it's summer, that doesn't necessarily mean that we can just forget about all of the goals that we had. So are you letting self-care out the window during the summer months? Are you telling yourself that you'll pick up goals again in the fall? Are you losing momentum altogether and saying, I'll just restart it next year? Do you find yourself on this same cycle every year without making real progress? When we see the ebbs and flows of goals and health kind of taking shape, New Year's is always going to be the biggest. Everywhere, gyms, nutrition, that is where we're going to see that biggest uptick of let's really get down to business and hit our health goals, hit our nutrition goals, lose the weight that we're looking to, manage our diabetes, whatever your goals look like. It's usually restarted again in January. We hold good for a couple weeks, maybe a month or two, and then it starts to falter. You find that motivation again, and then boom, summer's here. And then summer, we're traveling, we're vacationing, we just kind of want to live life and be carefree. And we can absolutely do that with still keeping our big picture goal in mind and still being able to make progress. It may not be the same cadence that progress is being made throughout the rest of the year, but that doesn't mean that we have to eliminate our entire self-care routine and then try to get ourselves motivated again when we hit the fall, because after we hit fall, September, October, we get the holiday season, and the holiday season is a whole nother thing, and that's when January starts again. So if you're finding yourself on that same cycle, let's figure out what we can do during these summer months that does not derail our progress, that does not lose us motivation. So revisit your goals. When you live a true lifestyle, you can make progress any time of the year. It doesn't have to be, it's holiday season, I'm never going to be able to do that, or I'm traveling, all summer, I don't really want to think about it. When you live a healthy lifestyle, living an 80-20 rule, and for those of you that are not familiar with that rule, that just means everything in moderation. It could be a day at a glance, it could be at a week at a glance, it could be the whole year. But 80% of the time you are doing things that support your goals. And this becomes more natural after you apply it more often. And then 20% of the time is like, yeah, I'm going to live my life and I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I'm going to have an extra piece of cake if I want one. I don't have to work out today because my body's telling me otherwise, and I'm not going to feel guilty about it tomorrow. And I'm not going to restrict my food intake because I didn't get to work out. We're going to live our lives in a way that feels supportive. But that 80-20% rule is a really helpful way to do that. And it's evenly distributed throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the year. So when we're looking at this and we want to handle setbacks, summer may have been a setback for you because you are not sure how to cope with exactly your road bumps and your speed bumps. And I was traveling for 6 weeks and I, didn't really want to think about my goals for a little bit. If we want to handle our setbacks in a positive way, we have a couple checklists here to kind of evaluate. First and foremost, evaluate where you started. If you started in the January new year, new you situation, evaluate how far you've come from that. What was your original goal? What progress have you made since then? If you felt like you haven't made that progress, I worry that it may continuously be a cycle, and then you'll have to start it again next year and you won't have that real progress being made. So make a checklist of things that you have accomplished in that time span from January 1st, if that's when you started. Maybe it was last November, maybe it was last August, but whenever you started, evaluate it. What goals have you achieved? What do you still have left to accomplish? Evaluate that first. Find a positive in every scenario. If you haven't hit your goal yet for something, find a positive. Always find a positive. If we talk to ourselves negatively, we're never going to be able to make change because we are going to have too much pent up hate and not feel able to get over those roadblocks. And it's going to set us back a lot. So find a positive in every scenario. Find a positive in goals that you've hit. Find a positive in goals that you haven't hit. Again, evaluate that progress. Understand that change takes time and be honest with yourself. We like to give ourselves credit for things that we are not giving 100% at when it comes to nutrition and health goals. We can say that we're doing everything right. We can say that we're going to the gym, all the time, and we can say that we're eating all the right foods, but be honest with yourself. Take a day at a glance, take a week at a glance, take a month at a glance, and count and calculate and categorize what that looks like. Are you really taking the time to make those changes? And you could be sliding under the rug. It could be. It might not be. But be honest with yourself. Track it. Track your intake for a week. EatLove has a way to do that. And then map out your next steps. After you find your positives, after you have a heart-to-heart with yourself, come to Jesus moment with yourself, figure out what your next steps are going to be. And those are going to be your habits that carry you to the next stage of your goal. So even though summer might have been a setback in the past, it doesn't have to be anymore, because we're going to find simple things that we can do on a daily basis that help you check off, that help you climb that mountain to get to the peak where that optimal goal is, your big picture goal. Why are you getting started with this? It might be weight loss related. It might be managing diabetes. It might be prevention for chronic conditions because you have a genetic predisposition for high cholesterol or heart disease. That could be it too. But what are those mini steps that you can do every single day, every single week, that don't really feel like you're fighting with yourself to maintain it? So what do those next steps look like? We're going to create empowering habits. So after we revisit those goals, we put positive steps forward on full blast. We're going to create those habits. So start small. Pick something that you can do every single day for the rest of your life. I'm talking pour a glass of water in the morning before your coffee. Simple. That is it. So that way you have your glass through the day. That's a new habit that you can look at your desk and say, oh, I have a water glass there now. It's actually empty. Let me go refill that. That's going to help you drink more water. Maybe it's getting a vegetable serving at lunch and dinner. You're already getting it at lunch. Maybe you want to add it to dinner. But something that you can do and repeat it on the cadence that you have selected, and staying consistent with it. Reevaluate it weekly and adjust accordingly. So if you're looking to reevaluate your weekly goals, when I say set on a repeat cadence, that doesn't have to be a daily thing. It could be you want to start with 3 days for something, 3 days for 15-minute walks after dinner, 4 days of cooking dinners at home instead of ordering out 6 days a week. Whatever that goal looks like, repeat it in that cadence that fits your lifestyle. And then after that week is over, repeat it again. Don't do anything. Evaluate it, repeat it again only if you have hit that goal. If you set a goal for 3 nights for walking after dinner and you hit 2, I would probably keep it as 3. But if you didn't hit it at all, if you didn't if you didn't do 1 walk, adjust that, reduce it, do 1 walk. Make yourself accountable for that 1 walk. And then after you hit that 1 walk, repeat that 1 walk goal and then increase. But reevaluate, adjust accordingly, and adjust realistically, because we need to create that empowering habit after we found those positives. So here are some really simple goals that I would recommend for a positive step forward. On the nutrition side, I'm going to break it up into like nutrition, energy, and movement. We could probably throw sleep in there as well, but I did kind of incorporate that with energy. So on the nutrition side, getting more vegetables, simple thing that we could make a very good SMART goal around. 3 servings of vegetables, 3 extra servings of vegetables this week, or get a vegetable at dinner 4 nights a week. Cooking more at home. If you want to reduce your takeout cook more at home. What does that goal look like? Is it 3 days a week? Is it 1 day a week? Depends on how many days you're ordering out, because you're going to have to replace that goal with something that you can do physically in the kitchen. Reducing takeout, 2-fold goal, reducing takeout and cooking at home more. And then incorporating meatless meals. Maybe you want to introduce more plants because a couple of weeks ago we talked about antioxidants and getting more anti-inflammatory food into your diet, and that is plants. So maybe you want to incorporate more plants by having more meatless meals. Maybe it's Meatless Monday, that craze. I love that. I love Meatless Mondays. I do Fish Mondays. Not that it's meatless, but that's my fish day, because usually we get our groceries on Sunday, so it's still very, very fresh, and I do not like old fish. If we're looking at the middle target, the energy, are you not hitting your energy slump? Are you able to get through your 3 p.m. energy crash? Are you napping less? Are you going to bed at a similar time each night? You're creating a morning routine, creating an evening routine. You're feeling less stressed. Energy notes that can be positive steps forward. If we're looking at the movement side, are you first and foremost reducing sedentary time? Forget about everything else involved with exercise. Are you reducing your sedentary time? Are you standing more? Do you have a standing desk? Are you walking while you're working? Are you walking if you're taking a break to get some walks during the day? Are you taking a new class at the gym? Is that something that you can do consistently? Maybe incorporate that into your routine. 1 day a week, you're going to take this really great dance class or this really great HIIT Plus class, whatever that class is. Hitting the gym more often, of course. Incorporating more walks. Finding the joy in movement. You want to be joyful when you exercise. You get that happy endorphin feeling after you're done. So find the joy in the movement and listen to your body when you need the break. So all of these things, positive mini habits that you can do that move you towards your big picture goal, that can help you maintain this all throughout the summer, so that you don't feel like you're restarting in the fall only to be derailed by Thanksgiving and Christmas and then just put it off again to the year. Because if that is a cycle that you are in, let's change it. Let's change it. Find the positives that you can do right now and keep consistent. Find that cadence that works for you. So I'm going to pause there and see if we have any questions for today. And while you are on this page, let's all scan our QR code here. It's going to take you right back to our Facebook group. I expect everyone on this call today to be in our requested members portal after this call, and I will accept you right after. Hundreds of members in this group. The group is wonderful. Like I said, this is like a continuous conversation in between our nutrition talks like this, that I encourage you guys all to scan that QR code and do that. All right. So I'm going to do another poll before we jump over to Eat Love and just ask what type of membership you guys have. Are you prospective member? Are you looking to come back to the gym? Are you basic member, premium plus? All premium plus members have access to Eat Love. So if you're looking to get started with an Eat Love membership, looking to upgrade that, I believe it's $10 extra a month, and you do get more benefits as well on the UFIT side. I think HIIT Plus classes where they're available, and on-demand classes as well. So there's a lot of other things that you can get with that Premium Plus membership that you get also Eat Love. So without further ado, I'm going to flip my screen over and share a little bit about our platform. Just want to make sure you guys can see that. Looks like you can. All right. So we do have an app as well that you will be able to get through from your YouFit app to create your profile, fill out your questionnaire, and then after you finish that, you are greeted by our single meal view that looks a lot like Spotify. So some of those questions that you might fill out to give you this personalized nutrition program, we have a ton of different options. So if any of these look like you are managing hypertension, high blood pressure, managing diabetes, you have celiac disease, you're looking for, bone healthy diet, keeping your bones strong, lots of calcium in there. If you're looking to reduce your sodium intake, but eat more of a Mediterranean style plan, we have that as well. Muscle gain, and we have weight loss as well. So anything, if any of these goals speak to you and you are not sure how to achieve them or manage them, EatLove is going to be the answer for that. So you fill out your profile here, and then after you are done, you get your daily recommended totals. So I just have a general healthy diet selected, which is, of course, general healthy diet. So we're making sure that we're hitting our macros. We're making sure that we're not busting certain things like targets on saturated fat and added sugar and sodium all have maximums. But truthfully, to be honest, if you're eating EatLove recipes, you're not really going to come anywhere close to this added sugar limit because these, again, are very anti-inflammatory foods, whole foods. They're not processed or prepackaged. For the most part, we do have some really simple, easy recipes that can give you some pre-cooked rice, but it's going to be whole food ingredients. You can see with this one, we have this tilapia green curry with rice. This is one of my favorite recipes on the platform. It's absolutely delicious. Not too many ingredients with this one, but you can filter and create your profile even more specific based on the type of kitchen equipment you have, how often you do your grocery shopping, how long it takes to make meals, leftovers, cooking skill. Maybe I want to switch this to beginner. So we'll save the changes here and I will accept the changes. And I will only see things that are technically beginner style, which has a limit on number of ingredients. You can see the change in those recipes already. If I go back to this dish and click on this, it went from 12 ingredients to about 6. And a lot of them are just oil and herbs. So we keep it super simple. And basically, when it's all said and done, what your goal is, the skill level, the time involved, family members too, if you want to add your family, preferences, who's eating what when. There's about 4 million, believe it or not, 4 million different dietary factors that go into answering the question, what's for dinner, on a daily basis. So if you are struggling with that question and not sure how to answer it when your family asks you, you're not alone. That's a lot of different factors to take into consideration, cooking habits, your shopping habits even. So if you don't want to be bothered by answering that question every single day, EatLove can help guide you to an answer that fits everything that you need it to, preferences, goals, macros even, all of that. So what we do here is that, okay, you see this Italian salmon, but maybe you're not feeling it so much in the moment. You can just swap that out with a smart choice over here, and that's going to show you things that fit your nutrition prescription, that fit your nutrition profile. So everything that I showed you with the general healthy diet will be shown right here. So I can actually hit load more for days. There's going to be tons and tons of options. So maybe I select this one. This is great for looking at your single meal view for the day, but I like to plan on Saturdays and I like to see my entire week at a glance. So you can do the whole swap and batch cook features here. If you want to have this fried egg sandwich for the next 3 days, you could do that. I could hit repeat that meal and I would just pop it in for breakfast, make it super simple, and I will replace the dishes that are there. So that's just one meal. I just planned breakfast for the next 4 days. Perfect. You can do the same thing for lunch and snack, and then maybe you have a couple of different dinners for lunches or a couple different dinners. And that's usually what I do when it comes to meal planning. Let's say you're out and about and you want something on the go that's a popular restaurant chain and you're not sure how to eat there and you don't want to feel like you're making a wrong decision. We have 30 of the most popular restaurant chains. So if you drop this down to restaurant meals, we're the only app based on geolocation to show you how to build a Chipotle bowl. So based on my area in downtown Austin, Texas, I could go to Chipotle and I could see the 47 different dishes that fit my nutrition prescription. Everything in green is a smart choice. So it's basically just taking the recipes that are noted as smart choices in our system, but doing so through a restaurant meal. So I can do this chicken and pinto bean bowl. I can tell you exactly what I need to put in it. I'm going to build that bowl, select it, add it to my dish, and there it is. If you are someone that likes to log your food, we make it very simple to log your food. I have already selected some of the things in here today, but this is for today, tomorrow. Everything's pre-populated, so I could just confirm that I ate these dishes, and this is not supposed to be in there. We'll delete this one. And there we go. Very much in line with the macros that we're looking for and the nutrition that targets that we are aiming to hit. If you want to go a step further, you can actually export nutrition analysis that puts this on full blast, and you can see averages, daily averages, weekly averages. There's a weight log. There's a food insight. So what are your top foods contributing to saturated fat intake? What are your top foods contributing to your fiber intake? More information than you could possibly need, but we want to give you that full, complete picture. So even if you just log your food for a couple days to see where your targets are lacking, you can make some really simple changes based on these reports right here. When you're ready to check out for the week, you can actually just select the grocery carts for the meals that you want to have. We'll just select a couple here, for example. Click your grocery cart, and then you have a smart list that's all ready to go for you. But I highly recommend to go through it and make sure you check off things that you already have so that you're not over purchasing things. A red wine vinegar. Do you have a balsamic vinegar? Do you have an apple cider vinegar? You can probably use a red wine vinegar for that, so you don't need to over purchase vinegar. You can see exactly what you need it for. It's for a kidney bean salad. If I don't have red wine vinegar, but I have other vinegar, I'm just going to use the vinegar that I have on hand. Maybe I have some dried cranberries. Maybe I have some brown rice. Maybe I have some eggs still from last week. And maybe I have some canned goods. But everything else I might need to purchase for the recipes that I need. And if I'm not sure why I need something, I can always click the space in here. This little icon here denotes buying organic if you have that recommendation turned on. You can change the quantities if you want to. You can reduce it, you can increase it, you can remove it entirely. Whatever you want to do to your grocery list, you can. And what I love too is that you don't even need to use EatLove recipes to create your grocery list. You could add just your grocery list, which we all need to have when we go to the store anyways, because we need a plan in place to actually meet our health and nutrition goals. So we need a plan to do that. So this is one way to start your system and create a system that you need to be able to hit your goals. Just add a couple of these dishes back, because from here, if you are struggling to create time in your week and you don't want to go to the grocery store, that's okay. You can buy online. They're one of our online integrated partners. I love Amazon Fresh. I've used them for years, probably 7 years at this point. When I lived in New York, that was one of the only options that I had. So I was so great to see Amazon Fresh already integrated, and my system just got even stronger because now I'm still getting things that fit my nutrition goals and my habits, and I don't really have to think about it. And I can use some of these recipes as a framework too. If I see, I actually had this, ironically had this dish for dinner a couple nights ago, and this sauce, this Dijon mustard, maple syrup combination, absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend this recipe for sure. But if you click on it and let's say you have green beans from last week, and this is asking for Brussels sprouts, you don't have to buy the Brussels sprouts. You can use your green beans. It's the same thing. So it's a 1-for-1 swap. It's a vegetable for a vegetable. Same thing with oil for oil, fruit to fruit, protein to protein. You can use it as a framework as well. And then buy online. The last thing I wanted to highlight today was the recipe search. We have just about 7,000 dietitian approved recipes. So if you're looking for something very specific based on a keyword, ingredient, or dish type, avoidance, skill level, equipment, you can add a filter to every single one of these categories. It will show you how many results we have for it. You will find the limiting factor eventually, and then pick a recipe from there, and you can schedule directly into your planner. We highlighted this red pepper linguine pasta a couple weeks ago during our anti-inflammatory meals webinar. So we can schedule that, pick the date that we want it, add it to our schedule. But I'm going to come back into our chat to see if we have any questions for today. All right. Do you guys have any questions about staying on track for the summer, nutrition goals? what Eat Love can do for you, how to get started, any of those questions. Nothing today. You guys are quiet today. All right. Well, I will let you all go. If you have any questions about getting started with Eat Love, I recommend reaching out to your home gym location on signing up. If you have any Eat Love questions, you can always reach out to our support email to learn more about that as well. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, great rest of your week, and we'll talk to you soon. And Kayla did put our support email in our chat box. Awesome. Have a good one, guys.